and all the great things going on with Memorial Day, and you are over the veterans. Make sure Washington County Veterans Service Affair.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, close enough. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we got Memorial Day coming up really soon, and we got the program pretty much put together. There's always the little loose ends.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a second, okay? We got to put a teaser there, Andy. Got to keep people listening, right? All right, Krista, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
Coffee Club sponsors: Metaview Health and Rehab, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Roses, Fox Burley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindigan, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, and Springs Valley Bank and Trust.
Yay! Thank you to our great sponsors. I do want to say, I want to give the report. Last night, I saw my first lightning bug.
You did?
Yeah, I know. Then that kind of reminds you of summer, like, summer,
Yes.
like when you start seeing the
Yes.
lightning bugs
I haven't
and
seen
stuff.
one of them in a while.
I know. Yeah, I had the first one I saw, I was like,
I love
oh,
lightning bugs.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a regional thing to call them lightning bugs here.
What are they
New
called?
England, they're fireflies, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, they don't know what lightning bugs are.
do they?
Like,
Wow, fireflies.
flashy
Yeah.
butt bugs.
Yeah, bugs. Yeah, yeah. The word bug. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, they're fireflies.
That's funny. That's
Mhm.
funny. Yeah. I've always called them lightning bug.
I
Yeah.
have too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. It is unique how different people, different places. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just can't get it right.
no, they can't. Who knows what they say on the West Coast?
I know.
Yeah.
What do they call them? I'm just-
Fireflies, lightning bugs,
light up,
bulb bugs. I don't know.
bottom light up, or light up your
Yeah.
bottom. I don't know, or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Light up your bottom bugs.
Light up your bottom bugs. There we go. We're on to the 20th day of May. You guys realize that? Crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
Think of that. Today is Be a Millionaire Day. What would be
Okay.
the first sign, Krista, if you were a millionaire?
If I was a millionaire,
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't say a word.
Okay.
I would just quietly pay off my debts and donate to various things anonymously and go about my life.
There we go. What about you, Andy?
Same. I think I'd be anonymous on all that. We've dreamt about it every time the lottery gets big and
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
buy a ticket. It's like the worst odds ever, but
Yeah.
at least you have a ticket.
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Look, at least I had a ticket.
Yeah.
That's right. At least that was a part.
No,
Yeah.
since the state would let you do anonymous, I would stay anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a Millionaire Day. Dinosaur Day. Got a favorite dinosaur, Krista or Andy?
No.
No. Okay.
I never
Maybe
thought
I'm-
about it.
I like the
I'm partial to
T-Rex,
T-Rex.
probably. Yeah,
That's
That's
T-Rex.
the most
is-
popular.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's probably.
I think they're kind of hilarious.
Yeah, me too.
They have the
Little
Little
hands.
hands. Yeah. Yeah.
They're so dangerous.
Yeah.
Snappy, but they have these.
Yeah.
wimpy
Snappy
arms.
with these little hands
Yeah.
going on. Yeah. Eliza Doolittle Day.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flower Day. What's your favorite flower? Let's go, Andy.
The wife likes daisies, so I would say
Oh, I love that.
crazy daisies.
Crazy. I love that. Love that. What about you, Krista?
Oriental poppies.
Ooh.
Those are my absolute favorite.
I would have to say on mine, I love a good rose,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Which color is your favorite?
Oh gosh, see, that's where I like all the colors, you know. So for a big pretty red one though, is just like you can't
Mhm.
hardly beat a red rose. Yeah. So
I really like peonies too.
yes.
I have
Which-
3 blossoms right now.
Mine too. Mine are opening.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're starting. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Mhm.
And I love a good geranium too.
See, those stink. And
Yeah, I love them.
they're okay from afar.
That's so
They're
funny.
so vibrant,
I think they're so pretty. Yeah. Yeah. So Flower Day. Love flowers. Let's see here. International Red Sneakers Day. Anybody got the red sneakers on?
Nope.
No. My
don't
black
think-
dance goes on.
I don't think I even own red sneakers anymore.
Let's see here. National Quiche Day. Quiche.
Yeah, little tarts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. National Rescue Dog Day.
Oh.
fun.
Love that. Then if you are thinking about doing that, this would be the day. Yeah. National Streaming Day. National Sugar Bee Apple Day. Sugar bee, they're real sweet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Those are
real,
good.
yeah, really good. Good sweet apple. Pick Strawberries Day.
You
Love.
can pick them already?
Yeah,
they're
I'm
back?
amazed at how many people have already got strawberries. Yeah,
Oh,
strawberries are.
my friend who is like some kind of urban gardener or something. I don't know. She's grown all kinds of
Uh-huh.
crap in her yard. But anyway,
Yeah,
she has the multi-tiered strawberry plants.
Yeah.
You know, in a pot. They're so beautiful. But I don't know if she has any.
I have
done
2
yet.
pots out here that have got little strawberries on them, but there are like some that are already like ready to go and some are not. So I said
Mhm.
I could have like a little bit of a strawberry shortcake. You know, I don't know how to even this out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have enough strawberries for my strawberry shortcake. You know what I mean? They're not coming. They're not like doing it together. And they're not
Yeah.
in
They're
unity
not in
there.
sync.
Yeah, no.
What's up with that?
I don't know. But you'll
You
see
guys-
them. Yeah.
You remember eating the little wild strawberries in the grass?
Oh yeah.
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 My mom always freaked out. You gotta wash that. I
Uh,
didn't wash it.
yeah, I know.
I just
I
ate
know.
them.
Made you who you are
I
today.
know.
Yeah. Pick Strawberries Day. Weights and Measures Day. Weights and Measures.
Okay.
World Bee Day. You like honey, Andy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love honey.
Me too.
We'll
Big
be
fan
there.
of bees.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing how they're protected now.
Yeah.
Like years ago, like,
Yes.
I mean, now everybody, like, if they find like a beehive,
Mhm.
like they'll call authorities to come and have it properly removed instead of just like the years ago, the way they would just
Yeah.
remove it.
Spray it.
Yeah.
Be done.
I'll tell you a quick story. Last summer,
Mm-hmm.
we was out running around, come back to the courthouse, and it was about a week or so from now. Okay, all the flags are out in the V in the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden, one of the flags, one of the little flags that you stick in the ground, had like a whole entire nest worth of bees on it.
Oh.
And I was like, and Tony was mowing, and I got his attention because what had happened, the queen had moved.
Uh-huh.
And somehow they thought it would be a good idea to be on one of these little flags. I've got a
Wait,
picture of it. It's
This
crazy.
is funny.
And
Okay.
and so anyway, his stepson just happens to got into bees recently and has the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he called him real quick. Of course, he doesn't live right here in Salem. And next thing you know, it wasn't 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, went out there, not a bee one.
Oh.
They decided that wasn't a good spot, and they migrated on their own somewhere else on the square.
Oh, this is cool.
But anyway, like I said, they got moved before his stepson got up there.
Mm-hmm.
But he was going to try to
Yeah.
capture the queen, and then they would follow her, and then he
Right.
would have his own hive or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it was just the craziest thing. Because just looked out there 1 minute, it was nothing, and walked up the next minute, and there was I want to say millions. It was
Yeah, just
tons.
huge. Oh,
Crazy.
wow.
I got a picture. I'll show you after.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. So you think the queen was like just going out for dinner for a little bit, and then
I don't know if they
you know,
got,
I mean, hey, a girl needs a time. You know what I
well,
mean?
they say they move around if they feel threatened or something, because they was like, they think it was up in the big tree
Mhm.
on the side where my office is.
Yeah.
And like I said, next thing you know, it was down basically on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, it was on
Yeah.
one of the little flags, and it was just the craziest thing. We took pictures. He made some phone calls, and the next thing you know, they were gone.
Oh wow.
You know, so I don't know if they migrated towards the. I think they migrated towards that building that sits on the south side. It
Mhm.
used to be the antique place.
Yes. Uh huh.
It's got broken windows
Yeah.
and stuff up top, and they think that it migrated. It either migrated there, or the workers last summer was up there and it aggravated them, and they migrated out of there.
Because I do remember that. Didn't they move them? Or
That's what it
yeah,
was.
that was yeah.
I'm remembering now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 They had tried to move them or something, and I think that's why they were a little upset. So they moved to that little flag, and then I think from there they might have moved up to a tree or something a little safer, a little higher off the
Yeah,
ground.
we're trying to show that we are America, and here's the flag, you know, and then the queen bee has left us for a minute. She's out getting supper and pedicure and manicure, you know.
Yes.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
But we don't know what to do. We don't. That's like, wait, what house? This is just like normal American houses. When the
Yeah.
queen bee's gone, what do we do?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow, bees make sense, don't they?
And the queen bee is just like, I have to get away from these
Just
bees
just a
for
moment.
just a moment.
Yeah, just a moment. Give me a moment.
Look
Oh,
at
that's
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane how many bees are on
Oh
that.
my
And
god.
Yeah.
that happened in a matter
Oh
of.
my gosh.
We was on the square,
Yeah.
Wow.
ran some errands or whatever, came back, and I was like, "What in the world?" And like I said, Tony was mowing.
Mhm.
You can see where he went right by, didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
And I seen, well, coming up, I could hear it.
Oh
They
yeah.
was making noise and
Yeah,
stuff, and I
yeah.
was just like, "Yeah, that's crazy."
Wow.
Yep.
They were yelling because the queen bee wasn't.
And then,
Yeah.
and then, and like I
That'd be
said,
normal.
It
Who's
wasn't
mommy
no
back? Who's
time.
mommy back?
they were just gone.
Yeah.
Like they'd never been there. They never messed the flag up or nothing.
Oh wow.
It was
pretty
weird.
amazing.
It was too weird.
You know, one little bee said, "Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? Are we coming? Where are we going?" All right. World Bee Day, World Flour Day, and it's the flour, FLOUR, like cooking flour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't use flour very much anymore.
No, just if I'm making something special.
Yeah.
For an occasion.
Yeah. Did anybody have mushrooms this year? Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
We purchased them.
Oh, okay. Look at him. He's got that grin. Yeah, we purchased them. Yeah.
I couldn't find one if I stepped on it.
Well, I don't know what's going on. I didn't think it was a good year, but then
Go ahead.
no, I didn't think it
No,
was.
that's what we've been told it wasn't a good year. And matter of fact, the guy that sells them, he's selling them right there in front of the new gas station across from Dinner Bell.
Uh-huh.
We bought some last weekend. I think we've already pre-ordered for this weekend to buy another pound. What we would do is soak them real good,
Mm-hmm.
flour all of them,
Yeah.
and then freeze in small baggies enough for 2 people. That way they're not wasteful. And we've already had like one little bunch. Try not to eat too many, because if you eat too many, then you get burnt out on them.
Right.
But yeah, they're good. They're real good. They're like I said, this is the second year we bought them from him last year. After the first 2 or 3 years of us stomping around and getting poison ivy and finding 2 or 3,
and it's out there, poison ivy.
So yeah, I'll do this all day long.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Actually, as far as like the freezing part, I didn't know you could do that. So you just flour them just like you were gonna fry them.
Yep.
And then just put them in baggies or whatever and put them in the freezer.
That's what we've been doing. We'll lay them out on the sheet tray to let them freeze individually,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not clumped together.
Oh.
And,
Okay.
yeah,
That
that's what we've
makes
been
sense.
doing. That way you can have them breaded, and all you got to do is just dump them out in pan fry or deep fry, whatever you do. But yeah, we've had good luck doing that, and
I'm
they're
good to
really
know.
good. 'Cause I hadn't had any since obviously last year.
So like when the snow's coming down in December and January, you can have some mushrooms. Look at Andy.
We
Well
do our green
played.
tomatoes that way too.
Well played.
We can jar sliced green tomatoes, and you just dump them out in the middle of winter or whatever. Flour them. You flour them when you fry them. We did it before, freezing them and flouring them when you get ready to fry them for the green tomatoes is better.
Okay.
Makes a better product. We pull it out for Easter and Christmas and the different family dinners and stuff. So yeah.
Cooking
Good.
with Andy.
Yeah.
This is good.
Learning all kinds of things.
I know. I did not know that.
We keep up in our game with the
foods.
Yeah, with the foods, entertaining our family. Yeah, pretty crazy.
I love that. So fried tomatoes and in January, December, that's crazy. And then of course in your mushrooms, yeah.
Yes.
I think you'd have to have a bunch of mushrooms though if you go to a family outing with those. Surely you don't share those mushrooms like that.
Well, a little bit. Not everybody eats the mushroom. Not everybody likes green tomatoes.
Yeah.
When I was 20 years ago, I wouldn't eat a green tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Now I love them.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured out, you got to have the right breading, sliced correctly, So
Thick or thin?
thin for me.
Ooh.
I like a little crunch.
There you go. I like that too. Yeah. That's all right. Good information. Appreciate you saying that. And to bread those afterwards after you freeze them. Yeah. Okay. Good information. All right. So let's jump in and see. So we know those are some holidays. Get out and enjoy. And Andy, let's talk about first of all of the things and all of the services that your office provides in our community, because I know you work well with Krista here with MetaView, and I love Krista, and I know Andy, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how much our community loves our veterans. Isn't that fantastic that we live in a community like this?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is very very nice to have a community like this, because not every county not every county's set up like we are, as far as with the services that we can provide. Having, me being there full time, and I also have a part time person. So that makes it nice whenever things are going on. We can make sure we take care of as many people as we can. We try to get people to call and make appointments. The drop bys, in today's world being so busy, the flybys are a little, a little tough because, like I said, I'm in the middle of something. So we really, really encourage people to call, make an appointment. But yeah, we file for actual compensation benefits. There's pension benefits if you don't qualify for the compensation. There's benefits for surviving spouses. There's benefits for some potential dependent children or whatever. But yeah, we help people get their, once they get a disability or a rating, we make sure we file for them to get a discount on their property taxes. We just try to get all the benefits that are out there. A lot of people don't even know what all's out there. I still to this day am having Vietnam era veterans coming into the office for the first time ever to file for stuff. It just blows my mind. A lot of them proud, too proud to have done it before, or just didn't know, or was told verbally 15, 20 years ago by previous people that they don't get anything. And it's not our call. I don't work for the federal government. I work for the county, which that means we work for our citizens and our veterans and their families and stuff. So we file.
I love that. Say that louder for the people in the back to hear.
Yeah.
What's that?
What you just said, that line.
Well, yeah.
I work for the county.
Yeah,
and
I work for the
our
county,
people.
so I work for our citizens.
Love that.
And whether you're a veteran or a spouse of a veteran or a former spouse of a former, whatever the case may be, because we never know. When somebody walks in, you never know. More than likely, they're not having their best day. I'm hoping they're not having their worst day ever. Even if some of them, I feel that they wait until they get to their worst day to come see me. But we're there. We're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, minus lunch, obviously, minus the holidays. And so, so like coming up, we'll be closed on Monday, May the 26th, obviously for Memorial Day. So,
right. And I think it's important to, is there more, I guess, like certain error that comes more than others? Or is it, are you finding that it's getting now where people are knowing that there's help and there's benefit? Then
yeah, right now it is kind of a mix. When I first got in the office, which I've been there, October will be 2 years, so about a year and a half, it seemed like it was all of your Vietnam era. There's a few W-2s out there, there's a few Korea era, but for the most part around here, the ones that were coming out, because some people don't want help, some people don't want to be messed with. But now since then, I've had several young people getting out of the service, like recently. Believe it or not, Salem, I don't know all the statistics and numbers, but I feel Salem might be growing a little bit because I'm getting a lot of people that are moving into this area. They're from wherever, and they're going to settle here. Some being younger, some a little bit older, whatever the case may be. But it's interesting what we're seeing now with more young folks coming out, and then finally getting some of these older folks that maybe their neighbor maybe we got their neighbor something service connected or whatever, and then they're spreading the word. Or I helped one guy that is a minister of one of the churches. Then he speaks about it, and then that generated 5 or 10 more people coming out of the woodwork. Because a lot of people just, like I said, just didn't know, or they wait. Now their life is changing and they're needing some more help. And so there's help out there. There's help to get your house adapted if you need. There's all different kinds of stuff to file for. Something we just heard about recently. There's I was going to bring that. I forgot that. It's acronym, but basically you go to your primary VA doctor and tell them you want this. It's where they'll come into your home to do some. Not only take care of you. That's the aid in attendance or the caregiver program. But this is in addition to that. This other program that's pretty new is if somebody can't, got a veteran, he can't mow his yard anymore. There's little programs that if you qualify, depending on what you got going on, you might qualify for 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week of somebody coming in to help you clean your house, mow your
Love
yard
that.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about it. We're just told, because there's not really a form that I fill out. We're just tell people you complain to your primary doctor, your primary care. And so there's just all kind of programs. There's programs like for the nursing home of, whether the the VA will pay on some people, the VA pays that bill, and sometimes they don't, or they'll pay a portion of it. Just everybody's situation is different. It's all based on your history. You have to have a disability of some sort. You have to try to tie that to service, and then you got to have the paperwork to back it up. Whether it be your discharge document that tell the VA where you were worked at, where you're stationed at, or medical record, medical evidence that something happened to you back in Germany or back in wherever. So a lot of times I tell people documentation. I know a lot of guys don't want to go to the doc. I'm one of them. I was one of them. I tell people you got to get over that. In today's world, you have to get over that and ask for help.
Right.
You have to file. The VA might. I got a guy that the VA's give him over the last 20, 30 years, 5, 6, 7 pairs of hearing aids, but he's not service connected for hearing loss. He can't understand why. Well, you have to file the claim. You have to file it. I'll file it for you.
Yeah.
But you have to come in so I can do that. So we get into some of that. People got all these things wrong with them, and they're getting all these crazy surgeries, and they're getting all these knee replacements and everything, and the VA's paying for it, but they're not service connected for it because they may have never filed a claim for that. So see, that's the thing. You got to. So we tell people when I get somebody to come in for the first time, I always tell them we'll sign a couple documents. We're not really filing a claim today. We're just going to do an intent to file, and I get them to sign this other document, and in a few days it gives me access to their file, because some people filed for stuff they didn't know they filed for.
Right.
Because when you get off the bus and you're being hustled in, whatever, especially back in the day, sign here, sign here, sign here, kind of thing. So some people have applied for something and didn't even know it.
Right.
Or vice versa. They'll tell me that they're getting a check, but the terminologies are real loose. And with me in the VA, it's very specific.
Sure.
Like a lot of guys say that they're getting a pension because they're getting a check. But is it a pension or is it for compensation? Well, they don't know. So that's why I have to have my documentation so that I can see, so we can educate what's going on, where we're headed to. Same thing with the spouses. Trying to educate them for in the future if something happens to the veteran. A lot of times we just tell the veteran most of my veterans know to tell their spouses if something happens to go see me.
That's great.
And so a lot of times I and that's another thing, when everybody does that, or some people do it, as soon as something happens, they either come in or call. We can't take no action without paperwork. See, because people just don't know what to do a lot of times, and you're distraught, and I understand that. So we just tell people, just you got time, just whenever you get the paperwork, whenever the certificates come in, whatever, the receipts for the funeral or whatever, because there's some benefits there. There's burial benefits, there's death benefits, there's different things that are out there. And not that everybody automatically qualifies. You have to figure out if you qualify or not.
Sure.
And the only way to do that is to come in and let's file. And like I said, because the VA makes their own decision, and they're not the military. That's another thing. People the VA doesn't know everything about your military service. The DD-214, that discharge document you hear everybody talking about,
sure,
that tells a lot, but that doesn't tell the whole story. And so that's why you either have to have some pictures, some medical records, some other evidence sometimes that a lot of guys back in the day might have been at home when they got drafted, they were supposed to be a cook. Well, typically a cook is not exposed to the same stuff that a field infantry soldier has. However, when you get over in the AOR, in the country where you're at, Vietnam, we'll give that for example, all these guys that were cooks, now all of a sudden were riflemen. And they were being exposed to stuff that they're not getting credit for.
Oh, wow.
And so because
that's sad.
Because the DD-214 will show what your real job is. It's not going to show what you actually did. And sometimes it's hard to prove that. And so a lot of times they can, if they've kept up with some of their buddies, they can vouch for each other.
That's nice.
The VA will take that in consideration, called a lay statement. Sometimes doctors, not VA doctors, but the guys and gals that go to civilian doctors can have a evaluation and get a doctor to say, in their medical opinion, this person has this wrong with them because they might have been exposed to asbestos or Agent Orange or whatever.
Sure.
And that's called a nexus letter. So we tell people, VA doctors won't write you a nexus letter. So I just tell people, and that's fine. But if you're going to a civilian doctor and you do have something seriously wrong with you, and it looks like that could be because of this, that the VA does they weigh heavily on what physicians write down for you.
Love that.
So we've gotten some people service connected that way. We've gotten it from buddy statements where the VA deny, and it's like, can anybody collaborate your story? and this guy's daughter found a tank medic. He was a tank driver in the Army in like the early 60s, and found this guy, and he remembered the story a little bit more than the guy I was helping.
No.
Just because these guys are not spring chickens anymore.
Yeah.
This happened 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of these guys' injuries or whatever. So it's interesting. Every day's different. Like I said, some days is super sad, especially when you get the phone call from one of the 3 funeral homes. That's always a tough one. I see them pop up on the caller ID or text or whatever. That's always a tough day. But like I said, that's why we're here. We're here to help, do whatever we can. Some people just want to talk. Some people just want to vent. I've had some start out, they just vented, and when we got to the end, do you want me to file something for you? No, I feel better just getting that off my chest. Like,
I just needed to talk.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So,
Somebody that understands.
Yeah.
Because see, some of these guys, they can't really complain to their spouse, especially the ones that maybe that spouse wasn't around during your service time. Because I'm dealing with a lot of guys that's been out of the service longer than some people have been alive, where other folks are just now getting out. So I can relate to both, because being around for a long time, but I just now got out myself. So like I said, there's some I can migrate towards some of the younger folks and have a connection, but then some of the older folks I can have a connection because I understand, some of the stuff. So that's why it's an interesting, it's definitely an interesting deal for sure.
Well, in this day and age, you file so much. And for those that are not able to do that or know how to do that, what a blessing to help them. Right?
Oh yeah. And that's why I always try to tell everybody, what my office is an extension of our citizens, our veterans, because I have access to a little bit different program, but everything I'm doing, you can do with your laptop, and some people can do it with their phones. So it's not that we're doing anything different. It's just I have direct access, and with the permission, with a couple signatures, we have direct access to be able to talk to the VA, because some people can't come in all the time. I got some homebound, housebound, or nursing home bound. Some nursing home bound we've gotten to come out to the office, but others I go over there, and when I go over there, I usually take all kinds of different forms and stuff, because you never know what you're going to run into, and then if somebody else sees you over there, then they want to pull you to the side or whatever. And so anyway, we do that sometimes as well. I like to not do the outsource visits unless Ricky is there. Ricky Smith, my part-time guy, and he's typically there Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So if I do get out and about, going to the hospital or nursing home or somebody's home, but then some folks, maybe the spouse or the daughter or son will come by, and I'll have everything printed out, and then they just take everything, take it home, get dad to sign it or whatever the case may be. So yeah, there's always something new. A lot of times people find or playing on the internet, and then they'll call me, what about this? Well, I don't know, let's take a look at it. Because there's other programs. There's some programs that are veteran programs, but they're not federally funded. They're either a state funded or you have an organization that's gotten a grant or something like that. So that, somebody will see something. Veterans can get generators, and I get somebody call, how do I get one of these generators? Let's Google search it.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
Because that's not a federal
Yeah,
program.
right.
Because that's just it. Now we do know some about. I do know some about the state stuff because it's IDVA, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and that's who we kind of fall under, governing the computer program we use and stuff like that. Even though I work for the commissioners, we have to stay certified and trained and go to so many meetings and stuff like that. So we fall under IDVA. So there's some grant programs. They all got turned off whenever we just changed leadership. So everything got paused for the state, just like you're seeing on the federal side. Everything's kind of paused, pumping the brakes for a minute. But we're being told it's either it'll be 1 June or 1 July. The one grant program that there's two big ones that I've seen in firsthand action. One's the Military Family Relief Fund. That's just standard MFRF. That's the one that if you're needing a roof or you're needing a little bit of help, it's a max of $2,500 grant. And there's a package you got to fill out. You got to have estimates, you got to have pictures, whatever you're asking for, whether you want your water fixed, your heat fixed, whatever the case may be. But they look at your finances, so that it's a needs-based program. There's one for still MFRF, but there's an operation. I think it's called Operation Holiday, and it's one that you can get money for food, to make your own dinner. And then for kids, it's like I think it's $200 for every kid you have in your household. Then there's another one, I think it's a MFRF back to school. So there's a standard program, there's a Christmas one, and then there's a back to school one.
Nice.
And the back to school one focuses on veterans with children. So that's going to knock out about half of ours. So you got to figure about half of ours are the children's are grown up. Okay. And then we do have some young veterans that have little ones at home or whatever. So, but the programs are wide open for, as you can tell, for all ages, but you qualify through your finances. So, a lot of people might not qualify, but we always do the package, and I don't send the package in halfway done because it wastes everybody's time.
Yeah. And
my name's tied to it, so then it makes me look bad because once a year we see these state guys at our conference up in Indy. So, like I said, I try to put a package together that's as complete as possible. Right. And I help. I filled out more than I should have to.
Well, I was going to say, if you're doing a lot of the legwork actually for them, which don't you feel this is really pretty awesome? Where you're at right now in your life?
Oh yeah.
Isn't this like really you don't have to. Not saying that but like you don't have to do all you do, but you do. Yeah. Don't you love that you're helping?
Oh yeah, we definitely go above and beyond. Like I said, that's part of it. When you got somebody looking you in the face
that served our country, and gave, and then you're getting now to help them, be, if their needs.
Oh yeah, like I said, it is definitely rewarding, and being able to do it here. That I feel pretty lucky being able to transition from service. Never not thinking you were going to retire or move on from that. And that was tough. That was a tough decision I had to make, but there's been no regrets. Like I said, where I'm right here in town, I know we can try to get things taken care of for people. Emergency situations, sometimes we make a phone call, whatever the case may be. But yeah, being in town and being in a community like this, I can pretty much go and get what I need done. I don't like overusing my cashing in favors, but I've had to cash in some favors, with whether it be with the sheriff's department or the judicial system or whatever the case may be. We know people. That's sometimes an advantage in a small town.
Yeah.
We can get some stuff done that my state guys or even on the federal side is like, oh, you're probably not going to be able to get that. I can have it done in 30 minutes.
Mhm.
You know, all I got to do is make a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be if I had something I needed urgently to tell the public on air,
Right.
I know I can call Becky White and
Oh,
say,
you know it.
hey,
Absolutely.
can you squeeze it 5 minutes in? You know, if
Absolutely.
it's something like that, or,
Yeah.
you know, running around taking care of flags. You know,
Mhm.
the storms, we've been taking these flags down because we're all paranoid after the storm last year.
I
It
know.
tore up our big flag. So
Yeah.
now every time the weather alerts, we're taking in this big flag so we don't have to go through that again. So, so sometimes I do that on the weekend, or, you know, whatever the case is. We just, we make it happen, and that's what's the way we're gonna play this game.
Yeah. Maybe the rain will make it a little easier though to get the flags in, right?
Yeah, it's gonna make you wetter.
I was trying to give it positive,
Yeah.
but it's sad, and I'm not trying to knock other communities, but I'm sad if a community doesn't have this for people, because you know, for you know, knowing the words to say, the who to contact, that is like gold for your help, you know, on that. Because first of all, you know, when you call up somewhere and you could be on hold for a long time, right?
Yes.
And then when you do get that person, knowing the, I guess, words to say and to know what to ask for and how to ask, or you know what I mean, that's gold that you help that, Andy.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Like I said, that's just part of it. A lot of times I have to call the VA. You know, I don't have all the answers. You know, I'm not the federal side. So the only good thing we have is we have a hotline number that I can usually have a human being within the first 3 or 4
Which
minutes.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that has been
Yes.
pretty nice since they opened that up. And we've had some good luck. Every now and then I'll get somebody who's difficult on the other end. And, you know, my frustration on that is I get everybody has their job to do, but it's like I give you all the information on somebody that are going to be difficult not tell me what they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
That really irritates me, especially on a couple situations. Is a pretty sad situation that
Mm-hmm.
you know where the VA is not wanting to help
Mm-hmm.
because they are a big machine, and but luckily there's some good people that work in these places, because you can tell when I can tell when I answer or I talk to somebody and they answer the phone if they or do they really mean what they're doing, or are they just doing it for a paycheck?
Right.
And I can tell, you know, when they're talking to me on the other end, you know, and some of them get it. They're like, I can really tell you're trying to help this better.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's my job. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, these are my people.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of these older ones, you know, my parents know, my grandparents, you know, I've known some of them since I was a kid. So some of them really hit hard whenever they're not being treated properly, or
Right.
or I'm having a roadblock because of a technicality on their end, and or a mistake. They don't like to admit mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever all the factual information is in front of me, I know it's in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes that gets frustrating. But that's on me. That's something that just because that's
But I think
why I'm wired.
Like what you're like, you know, most veterans are just kind of, they're not really, you know, they're like, you know, not really wanting a hand out, maybe a hand up, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, for them to come and ask, and then if it is for some reason not written down right or done something, you know, and they don't get that.
Yeah.
That's very hard.
That's
Yeah.
one thing that this job, and luckily I had that skill, I think, but attention to detail.
Yeah.
And because it's, you know, you have instructions. I can hand out the same instructions to three of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to turn it in all differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just what it is. So that's why it's another thing that if somebody brings something, then we make sure we go over it line by line, because typically the federal government's very specific. If it says it's got to say this, it needs to say this.
Right.
So sometimes we have to redo paperwork because of a technicality or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's my biggest thing is when I send a claim in or send a package for the MFRF or anything like that, I try to make it sure it's as complete as possible. Because one, if not, you're wasting everybody's time.
Right.
You know, it's going to get kicked back, which that takes time because they don't call. They'll just put a mailing out. So now that's another 10 days for somebody to get something in the mail or whatever. But that's one of the things that we try to do is just slow down a second, you know, make sure I got everything taken care of. So yeah, that's my biggest thing is being able to pay attention and have attention to details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then when it works, it's gold. Whenever you
Absolutely.
can help a veteran out, and I'm just thinking also, like, just on some of their needs, it's like, like, just even if they were paying out of pocket, where do they go? Because some of the services are hard to find, and it's so awesome if they do get it paid for too, but and the help and helping them. I think that's just, I think it's so I'm so happy that we've got such a great program here.
Yes, definitely.
Do other counties ever call, like, to get some help or
Oh
whatever?
yeah, yeah. We speak to most all of our surrounding counties,
Mhm.
and then our veterans will pop back and forth. If one of the counties goes through a transition where somebody's retired or retiring or quit or whatever, and then they get frustrated because they either don't have somebody or they can't get in there. So yeah, we get bleed overs. People come from other counties if they're needing some help and they're not getting. Because you got to figure, like Floyd County and Clark County, they've got just a tremendous number more of human beings living in them counties.
Right.
So therefore, you're going to have a larger number of veterans, and some of them counties are overwhelmed. And I feel that we're kind of in between, because I've got days that I can't get out of the office to get some fresh air, and then there's other days that I can get some stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like just like being in the military, you have your mission, you have what you're supposed to be doing, and if that's halted for whatever reason, there's always something else to do.
Yeah.
So when I have so-called idle time, that's when we're doing stuff in the office. We're trying to digitize everything. I've got county business, purchasing flags or whatever, putting out flags, payroll, whatever. So I have other duties. So when it's typically when it's raining or really cold or snowing or storming, then not as many people come out to wander into the office. I will get some phone calls today. I'm probably missing some right now. But I just tell people, please leave a message. If you leave a message, I will call you back.
And you're really good at that. And you just donated some flags to the school. That was a blessing. Thank you for that.
That was funny. When they reached out, they reached out to a lot of folks, I guess. And then I got to looking. Things have changed. We've gotten some different size flags that we use now. So it worked out because I got permission from my commissioner, because it was paid for by different monies, but it was a size flags that we happen to not be using anymore. And so it just worked out. I told them I won't be able to provide them, over and over.
Yeah.
But I had some because, like I said, we've gotten, I forget now who. When Kevin was still there, when the guy replaced, somebody donated a bunch of POW flags, and they were an oddball size that we didn't use. Well, that was some of the ones that they got, was the POW flag. But over the years, we give one to the American Legion and the VFW, and I was just going to do that till they run out. Because, like I said, we didn't purchase them; they were donated. It's been so many years now, I don't even remember the story.
Yeah, right.
Where they come from. But yeah, and then the little flags, the ones we put on the graves, I purchased those. That's part of my budgeting and stuff for the community. And we worked directly with the owner, and I was able last year to purchase flags at 2022 prices, but had to buy the whole pallet
to
get the better price.
I love this.
So then I had like a lot.
Yeah.
But no, we're good now as far as flags go. And I'm pretty good with my budget. I know how to stay within budget. I did budgeting for 30 years for the federal government. So we know how to get deals on stuff, make our money, which is our taxpayers' money, go as far as it can, trying to get the best deal possible. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. As far as like when we're not doing veteran stuff, I'm still doing county business.
Sure.
And so, yeah, being able to get out in the community a little bit, like with the school. School's part of our community too. So, I really liked that they was okay. My bosses were okay with that, and that was. I never did go back to get a picture with whoever we give the flags to.
Okay.
Because they told me, it's like, I can't believe Becky didn't get your picture whenever.
I did, didn't I? I thought I did.
They said they didn't think you did.
Well, I'll go back and look.
Ask
because
Lana.
Yeah, I
because
will.
I was supposed to went back over there, but I've just been so busy. And when I think of it, it's when I'm dropping lunch off to my wife. Is when I drive by that building, I'm like, they're probably going at lunch today right now
I'm
too.
gonna
So,
have to go back and look, but I will do my
Yeah.
looking on that because I thought that was such a blessing, and we've got beautiful, and I think for the school to have like the flags and teach, and show our respect and show America. I love that.
yeah.
You
No,
know,
that's one of the nicest flag displays, having all the different branches in the state
yes.
and everything.
Don't you think that really looks
Yeah.
nice?
I don't know how I could pull it off on the square, but I wouldn't mind having a second pole instead of running the Indiana flag under the American flag, running a double. I've had a
Hmm.
lot of people say they just like that great big American flag by itself.
Oh, I love
So
it, don't
I've
you?
left
Yeah.
the state flag off, but we're probably going to put them both on for Memorial Day.
Hmm.
Same thing on the other side of the courthouse. We've moved the POW flag over there to fly under that American flag, but we've been having some issues with the string and stuff. So I got a new thing of rope. So yeah, we're going to be fixing that
Right.
shortly, and then probably eventually run two flags on that side because the POW or the south side where the Veterans Memorial monuments are. I always thought that was more fitting to have the POW on that side
Yeah.
of the courthouse instead of the north side. So
I see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Boy, when they were putting that new flag up, the fire department, that was really cool to watch it all, how it was
yeah,
done. And when the ladder came out, they had to bring the ladder out and it
yeah,
got stuck. There
yeah,
was a little bit of a, yeah,
yeah. There's
it's
a
just like
wire.
anything,
Yeah.
how, like, it's going to be so smooth on paper, but
Yeah.
then whenever so it was tied and they couldn't get it untied. And
It
there
was
was like,
somehow because it's cabled, where
yeah,
most of them around here are the rope. That one's new enough and industrial enough that it's an actual metal cable. Well, somehow something got flipped around, and cables not forgiving.
Yeah.
And so we wasn't able to fix it from the ground. And so the only thing they do is have them go up and then untangle the top. But they do that. Like I said, what's one of the things being in a small town? I can make
Yeah.
a phone call, and we can get things done.
they were right there. Yeah, they were right there. And they took the ladder out, because they couldn't get in there,
Yeah.
and I made a video of it. When a hero lies in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was pretty cool.
The fire department saved the day again last week. We decided, since the program for Memorial Day will be at Crown Hill,
Yes.
the rope up there was I don't even know what the word to say. It needed to be replaced a long time ago. But anyway, we got up there to try to get it replaced, and the plan was you take the new rope, tape it to the old rope, and make it happen. Well, it got to the top, and it didn't happen.
Oh.
And so the old rope came down, and the new rope was 58 feet in the air. So once again, I had to call the Salem Fire Department, and they showed up with the big ladder truck and stuff, and they was able to fix it, and it worked out for them because they was needing to. I think the term is flex their truck. They're supposed to run the ladders and run all the stuff once a month if they don't get called out for a. So it actually worked out.
Oh, good.
We was able to get this accomplished. These guys was able to get some training for the new guys, and once again, you make a call, they showed up, and
Yeah.
we got it done. So
Yeah, they are fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Good. Well, I thank you, and I think for you to give, I think that's very nice for the donation for sure. All right, let's talk about. Okay, so we got the little flags that'll be going on at the courthouse up there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony will be doing that. We're supposed to be. We're probably supposed to be working on that right now.
Well,
Other than training.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Training.
So a couple different things. The Memorial Day program is obviously Monday on Memorial Day. It's going to be at Crown Hill like always, 11 o'clock, 11 sharp. So please, if you want to come a little bit early. There's a few chairs up there. There's a few concrete benches. But like I said, if you can pack one of your little folding chairs or whatever, just make sure you have a seat. Depends on how good the weather is that day. It keeps changing, so I keep praying that it's not doing like it's doing today. But anyway, we'll figure that out. What'll happen is the Boy Scout Troop 4029 will tend to the flag, and it's going to be a little bit different this year. Memorial Day, you bring the flag down when they call tend the flag. run the flag up, and you bring it back down to half. Where the one rule is you're supposed to leave it at half until noon. I don't think our program will last an hour, so I've told the Boy Scout troop leader that, because normally we don't do it that way. They just run it down and then run it up. But Memorial Day, since it's, that it's for the people who we have lost, so that's who we are honoring. And so, a lot of people try to come up and thank me or thank a veteran. You thank a veteran on Veterans Day. You think of and memorialize the ones that didn't make it for Memorial Day. So anyway, the whole half staff.
I'm glad
thing,
you explained that
yeah.
to people.
And I'm going to explain that they just because I've done a little bit more research, just trying to make this a little, so it's just not just a cookie cutter situation, because the plan was already there. Like I'm just running with what Kevin had. He had a good program here. The national anthem, America the Beautiful, going to sing a couple songs. That's going to be Salem High School students. I didn't get any names yet. Chaplain's going to be Ricky Main. Placing of the wreaths will be from the ladies auxiliary, from the American Legion, the VFW, and the DAR. Speaker's going to be Todd Baker. He's a Salem High School grad. He's retired lieutenant colonel from the Army Guard. The roll call of the deceased from last May 15th to this May 15th is going to be John Quattro, like it has been for several years. And the reason I say May 15th, you have to have a cutoff. And that's just been the agreeable cutoff with, doing the names. That way we have everything. Because I know, if somebody passed away today, it's not quite Memorial Day, but it's past the 15th. So their name will be read next time.
Year.
So yeah, the cutoff will be the 15th. Drum roll, that's going to be after each name. That's going to be one of the Salem High School students. The color guard is going to be the the American Legion Post 41 with the colors. They usually stand over by the where I'm at on the stage. Firing squad is from the VFW, which is Post 6636. They usually stand back behind that first row of trees, kind of behind everybody, so it was it's coming, but everybody still jumps just because it is so loud. And then the taps this year is going to be one of the students from the high school. We've had different ones over the years, playing a little bit different instrument, kind of give you a little bit different sound. So I'm curious this year what we're getting, if it's going to be the regular one or the one that I don't know all the names anymore.
I love it though.
And then Wslm is always there to help us out. There's a free lunch at the American Legion Post 41. I confirmed that with the ladies auxiliary. So that's going to be up at the bingo hall, which is their post now. That'll be after, and then if bad weather and it's just absolutely, we can't have it outside, it'll be at the American Legion. So, anything else on that? Pretty much named everybody was going to be involved. And then obviously the Crown Hill Cemetery staff getting everything ready for us. They moved the stage up there, make sure everything's mowed and everything. So yeah, like I said, we got a new rope. I got a brand new flag in my car right now. So because the Boy Scouts are going to go up, they're going to go up Friday. I think the scout leader said he wanted to go up Friday and practice a little bit.
That's a good idea.
Just so it makes their transition a little smoother. And so I got to get that new flag. I'd taken when we took the rope, obviously when we took the rope down, then that flag came down. But that flag needed to be replaced, and we're within a week. So we're going to put that flag up today or tomorrow. So we try to always fly a flag up there. But anyway, that's the program itself. Now, speaking of flags, you spoke about the ones we put in the courtyard. The number of flags that's going to go in the courtyard will be the number of deceased between last May 15th and this May 15th.
Oh, wow.
The cross that Gertrude Stevenson had made, I think her husband made it. We preserve that every year. We have it in a box. We set it out and preserve it so we can use it for next year.
Love that.
But on that, right now, all the graves of all the veterans are being flagged or have already been flagged. Some cemetery people, they wait till last minute. Different cemeteries have different rules and stuff. But this is thank. It's over 5,000 flags we put out there. I handed out, and there's just going down Brown Township. That's Dustin Voiles. He's the American Legion post commander in Kimmelsburg. They always pick all the brown and all of Vernon. So huge thanks to them guys. Going down Franklin, you got VFW members. I got other veterans coming in. Andrew Davison, one of the guys that mows for the county, mows some of these little obscure county maintained cemeteries. It might only have 1 or 2 veterans. Some of them are Civil War or Revolutionary War. They're hard to read. So big thanks to Andrew Davison for taking. I give him a few flags, so he has to go there and mow, and then he knows that. So that is huge.
That's awesome.
The Moose Lodge here in Salem, they took the entire Gibson Township flags for me this year, which was more than last year. So I'm hoping that's going to be momentum that they'll keep doing that every year. Individuals, the couple individuals that do a lot of around here is that Josh Calvin and his wife Mel. They do a lot for veterans and support veterans and stuff, and so they take a few do for me. Let's see, there's a United States Military Veterans Motorcycle Club in town. They usually take a few for me. Like the American Legion, Vern Humphrey from the American Legion always does a bunch. And Wendell Higdon is the one from the VFW. And military club, the Salem High School Military Club, they took like 600 or 700 flags. What they end up doing is some of the bigger cemeteries, since they had a controlled group. They had a bus and everything, and so they was able to knock out a bunch of stuff.
Oh, what a blessing. That's cool.
So it went crazy. There's just 2 or 3 little ones left. There's a couple that I have to do. There's a couple oddball ones. Crown Hill, that was done primarily by Rose Anderson and her family, Larry Crockett, Tina Lee and her family. There was a Boy Scouts. They end up doing 5 sections, the first time ever. Because normally the ladies from the DAR, which is Tina and Rose and Angie, her daughter was in my class, that group usually does all of Crown Hill. And they're trying to slow down and try to get some younger folks. So, and the Boy Scouts, don't overlook the Cub Scouts. It was Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts that the kids and the parents are getting more people involved. And so I'm hoping that over time they'll get to do more of Crown Hill. But that's where we're at. Like I said, I've given out most of the flags. If your loved one does not have a flag that's a veteran, 2 things. You can stop by the office and grab a flag, but let me know their name and where they're supposed to be at. Let me just make sure we didn't miss them, or if they're on the list and then maybe the lawnmower took care of it or Mother Nature took care of it, because that happens. I always have extra flags. Some people know that on their personal property, they might have a very small 1 or 2 headstone situation that's not on our radar. I just tell people, don't get mad. Just come and get a flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and then if you want it in the future, you want somebody else to flag it, you got to tell me where it's at, you know, tell me the veteran's name and that kind of stuff. Because these lists that I've gotten for all these cemeteries, I've inherited that, and it's been an ongoing working thing that, you know, you might not be able to read stone, or we've been tracking this stone as John Smith and it's, you know, Bill Smith or something, you know. So there's always being corrections made. And then some of the cemeteries that are still active, they're growing. Obviously, Crown Hill is the big one, but some of the little ones out in the county are growing. So, you know, I might be tracking 25 veterans. Well, somebody passed away last year. And that happened to be where their plot was. But it looks like an old cemetery that hadn't been added on. Well, you know, you got to kind of pay attention to that. So I always tell people that if you can't find, if you know, I got 25 people supposed to be here and you can't find them all, we always tell people to leave 1 or 2 by the entrance or by the sign. And then if the family comes or somebody knows where that goes, they can grab it. We've had to do a couple of them like that, but none of the stones are legible in some of these. And we got record, like the one, the Brown Family Cemetery shows two veterans. Well, I can't read any of them. So there's a county sign right by the road that says Brown Family Cemetery. And I did it last year. I did it again this year. I just put 2 new ones there. Now they were gone from last year. I don't know if, you know, somebody ran over them or somebody picked them up or what, but like I said, I just tell people that's helping, especially when we get new people
Mhm.
coming wanting to help, that to try to at least leave a flag or two
Right.
to represent that if the family does come, or if a friend or somebody knows, that's what that is. So if you ever see a random flag by a cemetery sign, it's there on a reason. It's
Yeah.
there for a reason, and it can be placed
Mhm.
where it needs to be if somebody knows that person or whatever.
Right. Now, how many flags then do we have on the courthouse? Am I putting you on the spot?
For this year,
Mhm.
well, we're supposed to find Rose is supposed to help me finalize that number.
Okay.
What is Ricky, the guy who works with me, he tracks um, every week.
Mhm.
He checks all the cemeteries, the online papers and stuff like that, trying to make sure we don't miss anybody. But sometimes it gets missed. If you have a loved one, let's say you used Loves,
Mhm.
and they lived in Clark, is that, whatever county that is.
Okay.
Is that Harrison or Clark?
Harrison, I think.
Harrison. Anyway, my point is that if your thing was there, but then you happen to be buried in Washington County,
Mhm.
but it wasn't advertised that the funeral was there, we might not see that.
Sure. Right. That makes
And in
sense. Yeah.
today's world, with the regular paper being
Mhm. Mhm.
changed and all that good stuff, it is tough. So what Rose does, she helps us out because she bounces everything Crown Hill has. 'Cause that's the majority.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then the onesie twosies are the ones that we make sure we don't miss. So yeah, another thing, if you think you're, uh, a lot of times nowadays people might not have the ceremony till later.
Mhm.
Like during COVID, it got kind of a thing,
Different. Mhm.
and then when it's been bad weather, then they usually wait. So it's not unusual anymore that we might not know
Mhm.
unless they call me later on wanting a detail, because then
Right.
I can round up the VFW and the American Legion and do a celebration like later,
Yeah.
celebration of
Sure.
life later. And I've got a couple coming up this summer where they've passed already. So yeah, we try to do our best, and we have help with, like I said, with all the modern stuff. Rick, he's always getting on the different pages and the different funeral homes and stuff, just trying to make sure we don't miss anybody.
Right. Sure.
But yeah, if your loved one does get missed, it's just because we didn't know, and then we can always add them or pick them up for the following year. But they will definitely be announced.
Awesome. All right, and Andy, let's. How do we get a hold of you? Sorry, one more thing, and then.
Yes. So the office number is 812-883-2063. It's been 883-2063. I found some papers dating way back. That phone number's been the same for
That's
50 years. But anyway, yeah, we're at the basement of the courthouse. I'm on the west side. My office faces PNC. So if you come in the handicap entrance there, there's no steps. You come straight in. The first door on the right.
can't miss you.
Yep.
That's right.
So.
Krista, and thank you for hanging out with us this morning. And
Thank you.
And
Just wanted to say real quick,
yeah,
we at Meadowview, of course, we've had the VA contract here in town for
which is huge.
many
Huge.
years. And, for here recently, I just learned that there are some new facilities in our area and in surrounding areas that are also are gaining a VA contract connectedness. So that gives our veterans more options, maybe closer to home or closer to family, things
Yes.
like that. But of course, I'm going to push Meadowview because we've had it the longest, and we know what we're doing over there.
Well, yeah.
And you know what? We are just awesome all around. But
Love that. You should be saying that.
I do want to say that Meadowview has had a lot of positive connectedness with Andy and his office, and we're so glad that we have him in our community.
Mhm.
Many of our veterans in our building, whether they're staying on a VA contract or not, are able to utilize the services that he's able to, connect them with.
Thank
so
you.
it's
Provide.
just wonderful. It's so nice to hear that, like for instance, if a veteran can't mow their yard anymore, I think that's great because not every veteran that comes into my facility is there permanently.
Right.
A lot of them are there on a rehab, and they'll need some extra help when they get home, and that's great. I'm excited to hear such things like that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and that should make a push to get into VA health, because not every veteran uses VA health care. Either some because they don't want to, because they don't know, whatever, or they've already got good insurance. Some people that qualify for the Medicare with no co-pays and stuff like that. Well, you've got about the best deal going.
Sure.
Or you have retirees that have a TRICARE option. Once you get to a certain age, there's no cost in that one. So the VA health is not for everybody, but to get some of these benefits that we talk about, the home health care and the different stuff like that, you got to give it a chance. And so that's what I try to tell folks, that if you're not, and even if you're not service connected, you go into lower
options.
Yeah, there's still options. They're different. They're different. It's so crazy, all the different stuff it's at, and it's more out there than what I know.
Yeah.
I only know what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because because it's federal, so there's always more programs
Sure.
coming and going or whatever. Can I speak of a local thing? Washington County Chamber of Commerce Veterans Hometown Heroes Program. It's a banner application. It's for the 25-26 season. And what it is, I'm sure you've seen it in other communities where they have the banners that go on the posts, on the signs around the city. We have them here. It'll say "Welcome to Salem" is one of them. 4th of July, I think they do the American flag one. Well, they're doing one for veterans, and you can fill it out manually like this. So you can stop by my office because there's a link, but not everybody uses computers. But what it is, what it boils down to, it can be for you can sign yourself up. A family member can sign you up. It doesn't have to be. It could be a deceased veteran. It could be somebody who's still serving, or somebody who has served. But it talks about what branch and rank and all that stuff. And what they're going to do is you have to send in a copy of your discharge, which I can help people get that obviously, and a picture. And they'll take any kind, because they can manipulate the pictures. So we can take a picture in any way possible. If somebody just brings in a basic training picture or a Vietnam picture or whatever, something that shows their head and face, and then the banner is big. The banners are going to be pretty good size. Now there's a cost on the banner. The banner is going to cost $125, and what that's going to, there's going to be roughly 70 to 80 banners available. And if this blows up, they'll buy more of the little brackets and stuff. And that's where I'm going to try to get them a grant to pay for some of those brackets, if we go down that road. But anyway, it's good for a 2-year display, but it's going to be displayed September, October, and November, 2 different years. Then, if your banner belongs to you, whoever paid the $125, that banner belongs to them. So they're going to get back to them. If it's still in good shape and hadn't been weather beaten over the September, October, November, for a lesser cost, I haven't got that number figured out yet, probably half. A lesser cost, you can put that banner back up. And then if not, if it's bad or you want another picture or something, that's been there $125. But anyway, like I said, it's pretty new. I don't know a whole lot about it just yet, other than the program's new. Obviously, you don't see anything up yet because we haven't got there yet. But they're trying to do a push. And if you're on the internet, Washington County Chamber of Commerce, it'll have all the banner program info. And you can do it all digitally, electronic from home. Or, once again, you can come in. And I try to tell this because the veterans themselves, most of the guys I've mentioned it to, don't seem too excited.
Right.
But I'm telling you all right here to tell your families, tell your neighbors that we're doing it. We've drove through Orleans, and they've got it. Different communities have these where you got the hometown hero stuff. Anyway, I just want to put that out there. It is Chamber of Commerce. It is for the county, and it's honoring veterans, and so people can come see me about it.
All right. Let's thank our sponsors, Krista. We got to get out of here.
Coffee Club sponsors: Meadowview Health and Rehab, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox Purley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindigun, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Lane Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Batch, Neck Hospital, and Springs Valley Bank and Trust.
All right. Let's have the best Tuesday